to manually look at over 100 profiles and make sure that they tagged us correctly and they posted correctly and their profiles are public and they're active. I'd have to quit my job. There'd be zero people doing it. I would be like, this is insane. So I work in the social realm, overseeing all of our social strategy. And then I also am our only in-house video editor. So I manage all of that. And then in addition, video strategy. We send about 9,000 to 10,000 students abroad per year. Many of us who work in the marketing team have studied abroad and have long-term travel experiences, but the way that our students are able to tell that story really authentically and with humor, creatively in ways that we could never dream of. For me, having that UGC content, it lends itself to every single marketing space that we have. From our TikTok ads, it's almost fully from our influencers, our website, social streams, our emails, all of it. Like it's curating so much content for us that I can't even express how valuable it is. I think for us, knowing that our demographic responds really well to this kind of content coming from folks like themselves, we've seen such a tremendous success with it. So we're a nonprofit. The marketing team is not that big compared to other for-profit institutions. So like all of us have many jobs, and it would be almost impossible for us to actually manually track things that our students were doing and posting in that way. We were just kind of seeing like if this was going to work, if the tracking tools were going to, assist us in making this a possibility, knowing our constraints and our capacity as a team. It was very clear that we had to continue and grow the program. TikTok was just taking off, and it was just like everyone had to figure out a way, I think, to participate if it made sense for their brand. So we knew we were going to expand and move forward. It was just figuring out like how the tools, I think we're going to do it in a way that fit within our budget, which a lot of influencer marketing tools are wildly out of budget for us. So at that time, it was just, I think, kind of like confirming those different questions. But I did look at alternatives, and often the prices were just so out of reach for us. And also in some ways probably offered tools that I wouldn't really need to use in terms of how our correspondent program works and, structure of the tool between MightyScout and those. And it was just very clear that MightyScout was such a good price for us, gave us the different stats and the different tracking and content downloading that we needed. And kind of it fit our needs really nicely. If we didn't have MightyScout, it would be impossible to have this many social influencers, because that UGC content integrates into all the other things that we do. I can't really imagine not having it. Success metrics, term to term, or year over year for our social media correspondents in general. People want proof points to know why we're paying so many students to do social media abroad. So comparing the reach, comparing the engagements and impressions that we're seeing as we continue the program and develop it and add more student influencers, that's been a really great and easy to pull proof point for us and why we do this and why we spend the money on it. So I've really shifted my strategy in terms of I don't even create ad content anymore in-house for TikTok. I just look at what our students are producing, what's performing well on their profiles, and then I either spark their content from their profile or bring it over to our TikTok profile and run it as an ad. But it works to such a higher degree than anything I could ever create. And that's across almost everything we do. The main source of our TikTok content and ad content, it comes from MightyScout. And we have had a 37% increase in our applications. And I think a lot of that is because we've had 9 million impressions on TikTok from our ads over the last year. And 90% of those ads were from the content that came through from MightyScout. It also just comes at a really nice price point that I think allows folks like me, who I think have important work to do but don't always have, the big budget to withstand that, allows us to enter the influencer space, whereas other tools kind of priced us out of it. The pricing model, I think, allows people from any industry, even the big ones, to do really awesome influencer work and be agile in that space and constellate content with a price tag that will fit a lot of different industries and a lot of different fields. Because to allow social media managers or, marketing folks like me to get the content that we need, even as the social world around us is like rapidly changing. So yeah, it just feels good to be with a tool and working with folks that I know will keep up with the way of the world, and that the tool will continue to adapt as times adapts.